It's the Nokia 8110 4G, also known as the bananaphone. Not only does this phone have an extremely cool sliding keypad cover, but you also don't need to do anything special to get it open. The rear case is held on with just a few clips. And here's something we haven't seen in a while, a user replaceable battery. The Nokia 8110 4G has a tiny little 3.85 volt, 5.78 watt-hour battery that Nokia says will give you 25 days of standby time. Holy cow! There's a plastic mid-frame held in place by 6 T4 Torx screws, and once you remove those, the frame just snaps right out. On the underside of the mid-frame is the speaker, which, while glued in place, lifts right out with little effort. The motherboard is resting in place, connected by just a few cables, and the 2-megapixel camera easily pops right up and off the motherboard. Now the motherboard can be lifted out, and on the board you'll see the Qualcomm MSM 8905 processor and the 512 megabytes of SK Hynix-made RAM. We've still got a second board resting in the phone, and it's home to the keypad buttons. So far, this has been an extremely easy teardown, but now we're faced with an obstacle. The front glass is extremely thick and really glued in place, and it's also recessed in the case, making it very difficult to pry up. After lots of heat and prying, we finally make some progress and begin lifting it up. Unfortunately, we cracked it in the process. After all of that, the display lifts right out, and we discover that it's a 2.4-inch TFT display that has a resolution of 240 by 320. With our bananaphone teardown completed, it's time to talk repairability. How did the Nokia 8110 4G score? It got an 8 out of 10. And here's why. On the upside, the disassembly is extremely simple, with only plastic clips and standard Torx screws holding the phone together. The battery is easy to access and replace, but on the downside, several main components such as the headphone jack, SD card slot, micro USB port, and vibrator are all soldered to the motherboard. And finally, getting to the display requires removing the front glass, which is tricky to remove without damaging